part of where Washington 360 came from was out of that desire to really try and take control somewhat of our future, to stop that waiting game, the sitting on the hands. And it felt really like in the spirit of our other two adventure races that we tried to take control. And I think it was right when I heard that Swiftsure was giving it up. And I was like, I'm done with this. There needs to be something for myself, for other people. And I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. And it was really made possible by COVID, with the ability of the fact that people had to stay at home, people couldn't go to Canada. It captured the audience, kind of, so to speak. And so out of that came Washington 360, which was a riff off of, in some ways, Race to Alaska, but with some really big differences. One is that it's an engineless race, just like Race to Alaska and 7048, but teams can keep their engines in. Now, like this race, like all of the adventure races that I run, there's a lot of honor involved with that. It's like I can't watch people all the time. And really, when people ask me questions, I say, like, look, these are the rules. And in the end, you're going to be bouncing a grandkid or a kid off your knee and telling a story about this thing that you've done. And are you going to feel good about telling that story? Because is that a story that's going to be full of truth, or is that going to be a story that you cheated in, you lied in? And that's kind of the case, because this race is about like finding that challenge within yourself. Not that there aren't classes this time, but so first it was engineless, and we're keeping the motors on. And I still haven't figured it out, but I'm thinking two things that I really like the idea of. One is a really cool rainbow zip tie with Washington 360 on it, and like put that right around the linkage, the throttle linkage. Or someone else had this great idea. It was Alex, the owner of Fisheries. He's like, you should get one of those wax seals they used back in the day for letters, and you could shove it right into the ignition. You can put the seal right over there. Oh my, I love that. Someone else is like, how are they going to get it out? And I'm like, not my problem. Perfect idea. So I'm looking into that one too. So it's engineless. It is no pre-planned support. So it's not like you can't get support, but it has to generally be total luck and chance that you came across it, or it's something available to everyone. Like if you're going to rent a hotel room, you got to do it after the race starts, which is weird. And a detail I like to try and avoid, really. I'm like, you all can figure it out. Remember the honor rule? I did have to incorporate Rule 8, like right off the bat from Race to Alaska. And if you don't know that one, it's for if any reason I have to consult a lawyer to determine whether you're disqualified, you're automatically disqualified. So it clears up a lot of gray area. Now, so we got unsupported, we got engineless, and 3 classes we're going into. And I'm going to try, first let me talk about the route, and then I'll talk about the classes. I'm going to try and screen share, and this is going to be super, like, not that great, but whatever. You all can deal with it. This is the route. Let's see how this works. Can everyone see a map up there with some stars?
Yes.
Stellar. You'll notice there's a really big dot over by Squim. That's just meant to throw you off. It has nothing to do with the race. It's really just some people like detail, and they'll eddy into that sucker and they'll never come out. That's probably where they should be. Okay. Now everyone else, you'll look, there's a star up by Port Townsend. So the race is going to start there, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, an irritating time, but good enough light that you can get a shot off on your start line. And then it goes in kind of a counterclockwise rotation. The next waypoint is Olympia. Olympia Shoals down there. You got around Olympia Shoals, head north. The next one you got is essentially you have to pass within 1 nautical mile of Goat Island. And if you've ever been up into Skagit Bay, you know there's only one side that you would pass within any mileage of Goat Island. And so you will leave it on your starboard side. At that point, the choice is to go through Deception Pass or up the Snohomish Slough, depending what I think kind of, like what kind of pain you enjoy. And then up and around and into Bellingham Bay, up to the Outfall Buoy, which is pretty far up in Bellingham Bay off of Fairhaven then. Also intentionally set so you can really enjoy the wave action of Bellingham Bay. If you've ever been there, you may really enjoy the kind of short, steep, up and down, rocker horse, can't eat your breakfast motion that we all enjoy there. We all get to partake. Next, we're going to push it up. And this is the time in which we get kind of like snub the nose at Canada. This is when we shake the booty as we go by up to Point Roberts. And so you got to hit up to Point Roberts. Then you turn around, back down to Port Townsend any way you can, essentially by water, any way you can. Like Race to Alaska, you can do carryovers, but you can't use any other vessel except the vessel you're on. So people have asked me that, so I like to include it. Now, if there are any questions, maybe like someone just yell at me because I don't see chat.
Carryover.
What's that?
What's a carryover?
Oh, you got like a portage.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. You can portage if you want. If you got the right vessel and you're really into that kind of pain as well. There's a couple spots that might be suitable, I guess. I can't wait to see if anyone does it. Like the race, everyone's going to be carrying a tracker. So anyone can watch us 24 hours a day. We're going to tie it into the team's social media. So we're going to try and really push that. I'll have teams in the field, but mostly they're there to really try and help record what's going on and tell the story of this race and the people in the race. Because that, for me, that's where my heart lies, is in watching within the challenge of others, them find that ability to meet it, whether that's backing off and saying, that today, this is too big for me. Tomorrow, when I get some food and rest, it may not be, but today it is. I think that's a huge story that I like to see. But also it's that, like, we can do this. We've trained for this. We've teamed for this boat. We know, let's do this. But it seems kind of improbable. I dig those as well. I call those the poop your pants moments. And they seem to happen frequently in these races, which I also enjoy. So out of this is, instead of running one class, it seemed like it was really time to, or that this was really appropriate as we kind of circle the border of the Salish, Southern Salish, that we honor 3 classes. And the whole thing about perf ratings and stuff like that, I can say that word. I'm really, perf. I'm like a machine gun with that bad boy. Beyond that, I'm nothing. I am like, it's all pretty and lace and it's a pig under the lipstick. It doesn't work for me. So I go 3. It's go fast. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right? Boats that like to go fast. Go hard, which in my opinion, right, most boats are slow pigs. 1, you're living on them. 2, you had to have the espresso machine or the extra water because you wanted the shower. So I call those the go hard because they always take more effort. And then the human powered. And the human powered is whatever, man. It's no sail, no motor. It's whatever you do as a human to get from A to B. And what I really love about this is I think it's 3 awesome classes. People get to self-appoint where they're at. But, I'm not completely stupid. And I'm not going to let a TP52 hop into the go hard because they said they started living aboard 2 days ago. It's not how it works. But what you can get, and this is a really terrible photo, which kind of ties into, I don't know, a lot of stuff that I do with races, but the winners each get a belt, a perennial belt, much like this one, Muhammad Ali. I just like this shot. Mine's going to be bigger. I think it's going to have more bling on it. And we will stamp their names. Their names will be stamped on there for time immemorial.
Wait, Dan, click on it. You got to click on the other tab.
What? Oh, are you not seeing it? Oh,
We're looking at the map.
How do I do that? I love, Caroline, do I have to stop the share to make that happen?
Yeah,
No,
I would say stop
click on
share and then start again and choose
Okay.
the other app.
Hey, everyone. Okay, let's do it. Here, there we go. And bam, Muhammad Ali. Yeah, but bigger. This is such a classy shot. So the finish line will be in Port Townsend. It'll be a rolling finish line 24 hours a day. Somewhere in there, we'll figure out when to have an award ceremony. COVID will dictate a bunch of stuff. This year, we don't get to have the normal parties, but this is a race that I tend to keep around. And it is going to coincide with the other parties, the other races. So it likely will start one day before the race to Alaska or one day after the race to Alaska when we do the race to Alaska again. And they will both start after the day after 7048 ends. It's going to be madness. But what it's also going to be is the ruckus. If y'all haven't been, it's like the big block party we throw. It's all free. I mean, you got to buy your own beer, obviously, but it's like all the teams are there. We bring up boats onto the hard, some of the race boats. The Finnish teams, the 7048 are coming in like exhausted, falling in the water. We're dragging them out. It's epic. And then the other teams for Race to Alaska are getting going. So this is going to be on top of that. And we just invite everyone to come down and meet these people and hang out, and we play music. And so when that gets up and running, not this year, obviously, but we're all hoping next year, then they're all going to be running together. And I think it's going to bring this collection of adventurers, racers, trying to be better than they were the day before people into one great party. Which
Sounds
I'm
great.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to stop screen sharing now because I'm just staring at Muhammad Ali's belt.
Hey, Dan, can you tell us some idea of how many former Race to Alaska teams are signed up so far?
I'd have to check the list, but I think we're rolling in somewhere at the 6 range right now.
Okay.
6. Other people are assembling. All of Canada is giving me the middle finger because there's a number of teams there that really wanted to come down, and I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah.
What's the holdup? Why can't Canadians come down here?
The border. They have to isolate for like 21 days. Something about their boat. I was like, whoa, too much information.
Wow.
Closed is enough for me. Closed is plenty.
We need vaccine. Help.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and so I think there's like over 30 teams that have already signed up. And if this is a metric at all, it's a really high number for this early in the year. With the other race, 7048, because it's going from Tacoma to Port Townsend, and there's 100. I mean, last I checked last week was 111 teams, and that's really high number for this time of year. So I think people are looking to get back into their body, and to get out there and to find these moments that aren't set on Zoom screens or at home. So it feels really good. It feels really good to be doing it.
You close entries to a certain number at a certain point, or is it just the date that closes the entries?
Well, the date definitely closes the entries of April 15th, tax day. And the number of people is a highly guarded secret because, I kind of assess that, but as we get closer, I get a little more real about it. And it is part of like, what kind of support I can muster up, what are my safety teams looking like? It gets a little bit complicated, the types of teams. But yeah, I got these like back of the mind limits, but I don't publish them, which might be irritating, but I think that's in theme with my races anyway, so I feel okay about it. Yeah.
Daniel, quick question for you.
Yeah.
I remember you speaking of the history of the R2AK, and you guys went out and you tried to do the course yourselves. The first time, like, can we do this? Is this something that's feasible? Have you guys attempted to do the Washington 360 at another moment in time, or will this be a brand new attempt for everybody?
Brand new. I mean, I have to say, I have like every portion of this water, like many of us. I have touched every portion of this course out of triple digits. I've done it in schooners, I've done it in kayaks, I've done it in stand-up paddle boards and 28-foot sloops. And so I feel good about knowing the water. I feel like it's really doable, but to stitch it all together in an engineless way. I mean, my life mostly was engineless because I was too poor to fix my motor. And so I spent a lot of my time in the sail sheet growing up without a motor. But I think it's going to be totally new. And the time limit, right? That changes everything. If that weather, if the weather can be somewhat less predictable than, what you would normally expect for that time of year, it could change everything. Yeah. It's really exciting for that, I think.
So
Yeah,
I guess
us too.
there's not a particular race ruckus this year, right?
Yeah. There's no right. We're not doing any of the parties. It's COVID is just not. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll save that part for next year, huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
What about people just show up to check out the boats and stuff and see the start?
I mean, I would love that. I mean, I'm not going to say no to people, and there are definitely going to be boats there. You know, the teams will be there ahead of time. I think the start line's going to be fun. I think it's going to be really, really fun. And there's going to be there, you know, and there's going to be 70, 48 teams. There's going to be probably 125 teams rolling in on that, you know, some Saturday, some Sunday, just all the day before. So I think there's going to be a natural thing there. I just can't sanction it. And I might, you know, I'm going to have to be clear with people about like what we're going to ask them to do or not do. And even the skippers meeting is going to be online. It's going to be, we have, you know, spot tracker training for the trackers and safety inspections. And some of that's going to be online as well. Yeah. We just want to play it cool. We want to focus on like why we're here, not focus on all the other noise. And so we just were like, all right, let's just cut out all the parties and all that stuff. Let's just not even try and make that happen and just focus on okay, let's get people to the start line. And then, you know, I get filmers and stuff and me, you know, in the water, and let's just watch this thing. And really excited to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Daniel, I can't thank you enough for making this happen today.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think the whole world's watching more or less, you know, so
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loves that R2AK and this is the only substitute in town. Of course, there's been other things around the country.
Right.
And,
Yeah, like the Everglades Challenge. I got to see that take off this week. Daniel, it's already past your bedtime on this one, and I didn't want to let you down.
Hey,
So,
can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Slightly unrelated. Who did you have to kill to get Olympic National Park named after you?
You know, it was on the same contract that got the Evergreen State College Library named after me. I got a bundle deal.
Oh, that's good.
Later.
You're like the Larry Ellison of our time, except for boats. No, better boats. Thank you, Dan.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, y'all. Thanks for.
right.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
Sorry I missed you
Thank
last
you.
time, but thanks.
no worries. We'll see you soon.
All right. Cheers.